if you guys want to hit your Facebook page at all, you can share the link. I just put it on. I just put like tagged both of you guys on it. What's that really loud noise in the background? Is that me?
Is it the fan?
Maybe.
No, I'll turn it off.
It sounds like wind.
No, that could be me because I have a fan right on me too because it's hot as heck in my room right now.
Oh yeah,
Did it go away?
It's hot here. It's hot here in the studio, Jim.
Nice.
We're live.
Yeah, we're live, but we're not live yet. We're
not live yet.
I'm just making sure that this is going. Okay, so it is working. It is working.
What? What's going on around here? What do you mean it's working? There's no working.
Now, starting now. Join us on the
be last.
The be last?
The be last.
Be the first and the last. All right, so I just bugged the crap out of people because I posted twice.
Keep it up.
That's what my, oh, never mind. We're live. I can't say that's what my wife said.
It took me a half a second to get that, but.
Yeah. Hey, so what the heck? We are live. We're going to start right now. We do not have GP with us, but we have Brett Harris.
Hi. Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us.
Do you want to be known as Anna and Martin or Martin and Anna?
Depends on the day. We'll go with Martin and Anna tonight.
We have the Super Tears with us. How do we say your last name?
Supitar.
Super Tears with us.
What?
I'm just teasing.
Told you, wow.
I know, I'm just teasing.
Is that pronounced Smith?
Yeah.
Close.
Right. And Anna's already starting us off on a racist note. Thanks for doing that.
You're welcome. I do what I can.
Yeah. You see what her hat says, Brett?
I'm looking right now.
Red.
Oh.
Is it red dirt?
Oh, what?
Yeah.
That is, man. What, are you on a football team?
Yeah, she had the funniest freaking line the other day. Let me turn this down. She had the funniest freaking line the other day about the, what do I do about red? I'm going to make potato salad. I got red skin potatoes or something. That was funnier than crap, man.
I didn't know what to do.
That was funny. Did you make that up or did you steal it?
No, I made it up, and then all of a sudden everyone else started doing things about red skin potatoes. So.
Yeah, I stole it from you.
That Indian potato salad. That's good.
Yeah, I got to be honest. I stole it. All right, so let me pull up my little deal here. We have a really packed show tonight. I mean, I've got so many topics on here tonight. It's ridiculous. So I really appreciate it if none of you guys would say anything and let me just do it.
Not a word.
Is that okay?
That's fine. Not a word.
No comments?
Okay, so we'll just sit here silently.
Please.
That's good.
Please have some respect.
Have some respect for a change, right?
I just I sent a text to Anna and Martin earlier today, and I said, hey, I know that you guys just been on once or twice, but feel like you're with friends and family and talk.
That's the whole point of this. That's the whole point of this.
Yeah.
And I know because I can't shut up.
Yeah. So do not be shy.
Jim will tell you.
Yeah. Do not be shy. Okay. So I've got to turn up the. And I'm changing this because we have an announcement to make, Brett.
An announcement?
Yes.
We do? What are we announcing? Oh, ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you today to celebrate the lives of Anna and Martin.
Anna and
Please
Martin.
join us and congratulations.
Yeah,
Thank you.
we did that. We did that last week actually, at the end of the show. You guys didn't see that, did you?
Yeah, you didn't. Yeah, we congratulated you last week, but we didn't get a chance to say it in person. So there you go. There you go.
Thank you.
You guys can talk. I was just teasing earlier.
Oh no, we will.
Teasing.
Jump into the pool.
So we congratulated you guys last week, and we even. Oh shit! See, I hope that I don't offend you.
Put that in that little thing so I can win.
Oh,
there's a
did
dollar
I
in the
swear?
jar. You just did.
I said
You
shoot.
Hey, now you guys would be surprised to hear this, but a while back, it was before you were ever on the show, but Jim had a talk with me because I cussed too much.
Yeah.
I needed to pull that back, and I'm like, when do I cuss? It's like every 15 minutes you're saying something.
I know, but you say God's name in vain, and I can't do that. That's the no word for me. And then the no word for my wife is like, sorry, I got to fix that. Is everything. Any swear
is everything. Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Lisa, right now, she's out there writing notes. I know what's going on.
Yeah, she hates me swearing.
You will pay for this later.
All right, so here's where I'm going to get in trouble. Please don't be mad at me, Anna.
Oh dear.
I don't even know what this is. Oh dear is right.
I just took I figured that this is what happened to. Let me pull that up there. Let me pull this down.
He sent that to me in a text when we first met.
Yeah, I said this happened to Anna's last relationship. The guy said, I told her that guns make me feel uncomfortable, and she said we should both see other men.
That's fantastic.
Love it.
I'm sorry, I had to replay that one.
But
know,
you know
that's
what?
great.
That's so true, though. I mean, that would be. That's kind of what I would be.
I don't know if that's so true.
Well, I don't know. I'm just saying.
So, did you guys go honeymooning at all, or?
It's been a honeymoon the whole time.
Yes.
Wow. Look at you already being the man.
Wow.
If I could just pop off with that stuff, maybe I wouldn't be divorced.
Take some notes.
I'm gonna write that one down. Hold on. Got my pen here.
All right.
Martin, you keep talking for a minute. Let's right there.
We're going right into Sergeant Andrew Tomarussi. I can never say that right. But I wanted to start the show with this because I absolutely do not, with all of the crap going on out there, it's so easy to forget that there's a live human being who served our country. It just sitting in the Mexican prison for no reason. And which computer am I on? This is really a challenge sometimes. See those are medals right there. The guy won. You don't just like give somebody a medal for showing up to work as a Marine. And anyways, I've just been beating the drum on that. Maybe not even enough, to be honest with you. I should probably beat the drum every single day. But that boycott, you can't really read it there in white, it's boycott Mexico until Andrew Tomarussi is home. Well, the way that Facebook does stuff is it's all on algorithms. So you could have 500 people in a group and post something, and maybe 20 people will see it. So
right.
I asked everybody a couple of times now in that Facebook page that I made for that, post it every couple of days, please, so we don't forget them. And then let me pop onto this one. Here, Obama, and we'll talk about Obama in just a second about not even mentioning him. But here's a couple of congressmen, representatives that went down there to visit him, and I think that the guy on the left probably has been down there a couple of times. And
wow,
didn't the guy from Utah go down there, you guys?
Not that I'm aware of.
So anyways, yeah, so they're down there visiting him. And then something that I saw with Greta Van Susteren, she has been beating the drum beats on this. This woman is a freaking American hero herself. She says, I am furious at President Obama if he blew this opportunity, did not mention our Marine, Sergeant Resi, in his call with Mexico's President Nito. Click to read. And we know that he did a speech where he didn't even mention him. And
he's too busy talking about Taliban.
Oh, yeah.
Buddies.
So here it says, late tonight I received the White House press release, see below. President Obama and the President of Mexico spoke today. Below is a readout of the call, which means a summary of what the two presidents discussed. There is no mention in this press release of the Marine Sergeant who has been languishing in the Mexican prison since March 31st. It says, I hope President Obama did not blow this one. Did he mention it or not? I'm hoping that Obama may have had a side conversation with him. What do you think? Side conversation, a promise, is it possible? Blah, blah, blah. So let's go. The White House, for immediate press release, basically talks about the exact same thing that she just covered. So it tells about the phone call that he had with the Mexican president. It doesn't even mention anything about our Marine.
You know, I'm constantly finding things unbelievable with this when it comes to this president, and I find it unbelievable that it wasn't mentioned. I mean, it didn't come up. Like, hey, maybe we should talk about this. Could you do me a solid and maybe let this guy go? I mean, how does it not come up?
I think he's so damn embarrassed. There was no way he was going to mention it on record or on paper like that because he's been rebuffed so many times.
Well, do you suppose he's got four things going against him. One thing, he's American. Second thing, he's an honorable Marine. Third thing is he owns guns, and fourth thing is he's not a Muslim. So yeah, he's not going to get Obama's attention.
You're right. That's like strike 4. His second batter's already up. That's exactly right.
Of Chris Kyle after Chris Kyle was killed either.
Right.
Yep.
He never did say anything, did he?
He doesn't care about these honorable men.
Right.
No.
And from what I understand, reading from the lady in Florida, she said that his health condition is crucial. He's being chained, he's being beaten, and that was his whole argument about getting, that other guy out, was that his health was in jeopardy. So where is that?
Yeah, exactly.
That's an excellent point, Anna, because that was the quote unquote one of the main reasons why he had to rush to get Bergdahl out of there because of his fragile health, and it's been witnessed by several American Congresspeople, Greta Van Susteren, doctors, everybody who said he suffers from PTSD. And the reason he tried to escape the first time because they said he got wind that they were going to kill him, and they've been beating the crap out of him.
Yeah.
Again, I just find it unbelievable that it didn't come up. Or even Mexico's president, you'd think he would have mentioned it even. I don't. There's something fishy with this whole thing.
There's no possible way that this hasn't been talked about 5 or 6 times between all of them, and which leads me to believe that Obama and his people were told no, and so they're not going to bring it up in public because they don't want to publicly be told no.
Right.
Yeah, but if he wanted him out, he could have him out.
Oh, in a heartbeat. Absolutely, in a heartbeat.
If he wanted to play hardball.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. Anyway. All right. So is that it? Nobody else? Let's move on. I just wanted to make sure that we started the show with that because. Well,
I was going to mention one thing if you're going to move on.
Yeah.
I was reading about how Biden went down to Guatemala to speak with the leader there, and he didn't really want anything to do with them. In fact, he was still trying to send negotiations to us on having us keep the illegals that in the United States because he doesn't want him back. So I mean, maybe that's Obama's take. He doesn't want our American back. So I guess that's what leaders do when they don't want their citizens back.
Right.
It's interesting. It just seems like there's something else fishy going on with this, because it's too easy of a situation. You would think, I'm sorry, I don't know, but you would think it's too easy of a situation to rectify. You know, it's a phone call. It's a come on, let's let the guy out. You know,
you said rectify.
Oh, well, whenever I talk about Obama, I think
rectum.
Yeah.
Well, and here's the thing. People have said too early on, they said, well, no, this was a drug deal, or this was something else, or this has a lot more to do with it. If that was the case, Obama would have came out and said, listen, there are things that people don't know about that we have already been in contact with the government about, let things play out or whatever. But there's no way that it is anything more than what it's been presented as a guy who wasn't able to make the turn.
Right.
You know? It's as simple as that. So, anyways, let's. We've got so much on the docket here, but
rolling right along.
Yeah, don't let whatever topics I've already got loaded slow us down or stop us from being able to give whatever topic comes up full breadth.
Full breadth?
Is that right? breadth. Breadth.
Yes, breadth.
Yeah. So, all right. So we've all seen What's Next with Drinking with Bob, and he posted a video this week about Iraq and about what's going on there. And so let's see what Bob thinks about Iraq. What do you think, Brett? Should we put boots on the ground and clean things up?
No, I really don't think we should. I don't know that we should have left. I mean, I have so many different opinions on that topic. I mean, there's just so many. The thing is that no matter what you do in that region, it won't work. You could do this, you could do that. As long as there are two of them left alive, they're going to hate and fight. I mean, that's an area of the world that would literally destroy itself if left to its own means. I mean,
Martin, what do you think? You think that we should put boots on the ground and go back and clean things up?
Well, you know, it's impossible. They don't want a democracy there. If they wanted it, they would have done it themselves already. They're not interested in having a democracy, and we're just wasted a lot of money and a lot of soldiers' innocent lives for them, and they don't want it. And I don't know what the answer is. Going back in there would probably just waste more lives for something that's a lost cause. But
exactly.
Anna, what do you think about the? They went in there and they captured allegedly some of the nerve gas and quote unquote WMDs or whatever, and they're trying to get a hold of the oil facilities there. You think we should go back in to try to clean some of that up or protect them, or what do you think?
Did you ask me? Was that for me?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, so you're saying there's weapons of mass destruction there?
I don't know how to make an A on sign language.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Kidding.
So they're saying there's weapons of mass destruction there?
They said that.
I thought they said there wasn't any of those there when Bush went in. I'm just curious.
Good point. Good point.
They're there now. We left.
They're there now.
We left them there when we took off.
Now, see right there is an excellent point that Anna made, is that, okay, so there wasn't any, but now all of a sudden we have pictures of them in a big nerve gas factory taking control of them. So obviously Bush was partially right, at least. So what do you think? We should go back in?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I would say no.
Okay, so you guys are all pretty firm on that, but still a little soft. Let's see what Bob has to say about it.
Bob.
Let's see what Bob says.
Liberated Iraq. We sent our troops in there. We killed frigates Saddam Hussein.
Let's start over.
What's next? I'll tell you what's next. It's been over 10 years since the USA liberated Iraq. We sent our troops in there. We killed frigates Saddam Hussein. We freed the Iraqi people, and we were training the Iraqi army to defend themselves. It's been over 2 years since Barack Obama pulled all our troops out and said the Iraqi army was ready to defend themselves. Well, Barack Obama was wrong. The Iraqi army isn't qualified to provide security at a freaking Home Depot. Insurgents are coming to Iraq, and they're taking over city after city on their way to Baghdad. Barack Obama took a 3-day vacation to California to think about what he was going to do. I thought he was going to come back in California and say, the Iraqis are on their own. They can handle it. He didn't. Instead, he sent 275 troops over to Iraq. There are 275 pairs of boots on the ground in Iraq right now. What are they doing? They're defending our embassy. You freaking kidding me? Who cares about our embassy? Close it down. Bring our people home. As far as I'm concerned, Iraq is a memory. It's a place where the freaking Iranians go to park their camels. I mean, Barack Obama said he might send drones over to Iraq. For what? Whose side are we going to take? Do you realize no matter who wins this freaking war in Iraq, we lose? This is a freaking civil war going on between the Sunnis and the Shiites. Two religious groups fighting over who has the right to highlight the important passages in the Quran now that Muhammad's gone. I don't care who highlights the important passages in the Quran. You freaking kidding me? Let these people fight their war. And when it's over, we'll send a bouquet of flowers and a basket of fruit to the winner with a note that says, stay out of the USA. It's time for Barack Obama to put his gun back in his freaking holster, go out to the freaking golf course and stay there. The guy is inept. He makes George Bush look like freaking Albert Einstein. Albert freaking Einstein, are you kidding me? Are you freaking kidding me? What's next? What's next? What's next?
I love Bob. Look at him wind down. He's like,
Oh, Bob.
I love that guy. So I think Bob agrees with us. Or did I even tell you what I think?
I don't think that Obama should be sending anybody in. Don't do half measures and send a few troops in and risk their lives just so you. I mean, 275. There's thousands of those guys out there.
Well, you know,
we're going to end up with some other guys dead for what?
Right.
Now, Jim and I have touched on this, though. They're sending these guys in to defend this massive embassy that we've got there, this multi-billion-dollar embassy that we built. What is really there? My question is, what is really there? And I mean,
no, go ahead.
No, I'm done. Again, this is one of those stories. There's something else going on here.
Yeah, Jason Chaffetz had written something about that. He said that he was really going after Obama and the White House for the millions and millions they spent on that embassy, and the White House is in denial about it. So he thinks that's why they're actually there, is what you just said. They're hiding something.
There's something there.
There's a radio... God, I hate to say this because then Anna's going to make fun of me for quoting a radio talk show host.
Is it Glenn Beck?
No, Nike. All right, yes, it was. But I don't listen to the guy all the time, I promise.
You say that every time.
But
I never listen.
I know, but he had an interesting point. That may be some sort of a listening station. It's massive. The quote was they spent $1 billion on this facility. Right. It is eight football fields big. It is not an embassy building. It is something else going on.
And what that indicates to me is that when you're talking that kind of money, there's an underground facility. I'm guessing it's an actual base, because that way we can park right off Iran's border. And I bet you anything we've got heavy military down. I mean, I'm saying it's a base. It's a hidden base. Because for that kind of money, you're not just building a nice office building. That's something way more than that.
But the thing is, believing that it's that important, like a lot of us believe that it's important for some reason, knowing they spent $1 billion on it, even though we spent $1 trillion over there, why didn't they leave like 10,000 troops there like they do to begin with? Just leave them there, rotate people in and out, like we do in Korea, like we do in Germany, like we do all over the world in places that we've been to, so that we have a real presence there.
So that Obama could gain political points and say that he got us out of Iraq. Because if he left those there, then he wouldn't have gotten us out of Iraq. So.
Yeah.
And he announced well ahead of time, so they knew when they could start doing bad stuff again and getting ready.
Well, and then do any of you actually really believe the numbers that we're told? There's nobody there anymore. Right. Yeah. Okay. Sure. There's not. And like I say, I know it's all hypothetical, but let's just say that 8 football field facility that they built has 3 or 4 stories beneath it, housing 15 to 20,000 people, soldiers. I mean, who's to say?
There's another theory that those 275, 300 people, whatever it is, aren't just soldiers, aren't just special ops, but a bunch of them are specialists who are there to set up a detonation of that place, so that when we do pull out, that thing will implode upon itself, kind of like the Twin Towers did.
Yeah.
Kind of
magically
imploded, including Building 7, who several blocks away just felt sorry for its sister's building, even though it wasn't hit, and kind of imploded in upon itself. You know,
it was sad. You know, we still haven't done the 9/11 show yet. It's got to happen.
I know, and I want to get to Reagan saying tear down that wall. We got to get to some new topics.
Exactly. Man, we are on point on this show.
Yeah. All right, so now we're going to hit something that I realize that this isn't like breaking news and isn't like the IRS and all the stuff that's been blasted at us. But this is kind of important because in 2 years we're going to actually be voting for either Hillary or a Republican. I mean, hopefully a conservative Republican, but it's happening, and right now they're starting to ferret themselves out and take position on themselves. And one of them that never really gets much publicity right now is Bobby Jindal. And I'm going to bring him up and play something here because of something that he just said that is pretty important. And I don't know if, let me double check something. My Google Hangout's working. Feel free to chime in, people.
Oh, hey. Just wait.
Yeah, all right. I'm going to see if this works. Because as of right now, to me, it doesn't look like it's going to work, but we'll see. I'll pop that up.
Just if you put your glasses in the right thing, we can see the reflection in them.
Can you?
Right, just at the right angle. Yeah, you can just check it out that way.
All right, there we go. Leadership on display. Bobby Jindal.
There's Bobby.
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate. God, can I say this? Is anybody listening? It's unfortunate that he looks. Oh shit! Never mind. I can't say it. It's unfortunate that he doesn't look more like Martin, you, and me. You know what I'm saying?
Well, there you go.
It is, because so many people. Well, I guess we broke the barrier with Obama. It's just that this guy is so freaking smart. I mean, he is so smart. So let me show you. I'm gonna get rid of that. Bobby Jindal just said at a meeting, June 22nd, it was reported. Bobby Jindal, quote, "People are ready for a hostile takeover of Washington, D.C." In Washington, he says, "I can sense right now a rebellion brewing amongst the United States," Louisiana Governor Bobby Jindal said Saturday night, "where people are ready for a hostile takeover of Washington, D.C. to preserve the American dream for our children and grandchildren." Jindal's keynote address at the annual conference hosted by the Faith and Freedom Coalition accused President Barack Obama and other Democrats of waging wars against religion, religious and liberty and education. Jindal emphasized that there was a silent war on religious liberty being fought in the U.S., a country that he said was built on that liberty. I am tired of the left. They say they're for tolerance. They say they respect diversity. The reality is this: they respect everybody unless you happen to disagree with them, he said. The left is trying to silence us, and I'm tired of it. I won't take it anymore. Now, that's something that we've all said, right?
Absolutely.
Have you ever heard a politician actually say those words?
No.
Earlier this week, Jindal signed an executive order. So he went around his legislature to block the use of tests tied to Common Core education standards in his state, a position favored by the Tea Party supporters and conservatives. He said he would continue to fight against the administration attempts to implement Common Core. Now, we've all heard that Common Core is bad. We've all heard talking heads like Sean Hannity and other people say Common Core is bad, but when have we really heard a politician actually speak out against it and then do something? The federal government, he says, has no role, no right, and no place dictating standards in our local schools across these 50 states of the United States of America. And that's something that I've believed wholeheartedly for a long time, is that we should eliminate the Department of Education. Just there's no reason why every single state can't handle its own education system. I mean, there's billions of dollars right there that could go towards the debt.
Absolutely.
Jindal used a little humor in criticizing Obama administration on several fronts, blah, blah, blah. Are we witnessing right now the most radically extreme liberal, ideological president of our entire lifetime right here in the United States of America? Or are we witnessing the most incompetent president of the United States in our history, in our lifetimes? You know, it's a difficult question, he said. I've thought long and hard about it, and here's the only answer I've come up with, and I'm going to quote Secretary Clinton. What difference does it make? It doesn't. The guy's just flat out wrong. And what ticks me off, man, I lost this. Hillary Clinton was approached at a book signing earlier this week. Did you guys see it? I'm so mad.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I was going to play the video. I had the video earlier in the week, and I forgot it.
Is this where somebody asked her to sign for the dead ambassador?
Yes.
The dead ambassador. Yeah, I read about that.
Yeah, please sign this for Christopher Stevens. He said, I think you knew him. And she goes, I am not going to sign that. And he goes, well, what difference does it make? It was like, oh, God, classic. Yes, that was it. And the last piece here. Where did he say this? The conference featured most of the well-known Republicans considering a 2016 presidential run, including, I crossed him out because he makes me sick,
Krispy Kreme.
Yes, exactly. I crossed him out, Senator, I can't even barely say his name without wanting to throw up, Marco Rubio, who faked everybody out. At least we found out that he was not a conservative early on. Faked everybody out last year and said he was. And then he joined the Gang of Eight, McCain and those guys. And Kentucky Senator Rand Paul. So I put a question mark next to him because he's still got question marks next to me.
Yeah, see, I love him out of all those three. He's fine, generally speaking, for me right now. But there's been a couple things. We'll see. I like the question mark because I'm not sold yet either. Not entirely.
What does the family from Utah think?
I think everyone in Congress and Senate should be impeached, quite honestly.
How about Justin Amash?
Who's that?
I don't even know who he is.
I don't either. Justin
Amash is from yikes! It's sitting in my brain. If you go to Facebook and type in Justin Amash, M-A-S-H, I think. He's a congressman from right up in your area. Not in Utah, but right in your area, I think. I can't think of it. Anyways.
It's just how it sounds, by the way. It's A-M-A-S-H.
Yeah. He actually posts every single vote on Facebook and tells what he voted and why.
He's in Idaho.
Idaho.
Yeah.
Every single vote he posts on Facebook. And then he explains why he voted that way. That guy is a freaking rock star who gets no publicity or not enough publicity.
Yeah.
I don't like a lot of politicians' pages, but I like his just so it comes through. So now we're going to do a little bit more Bobby Jindal. because this guy, this week, to me, he was on fire. Watch what he does here. And I'm not, well, I guess I'm going to get into the abortion issue.
Time off work.
I didn't want to do that yet.
Dink.
All right. So I'm going to play a video. And think about what this video is really saying. I watched the video. It's about 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes, and it is a group in Louisiana who is against Bobby Jindal because Bobby Jindal just signed something making it harder for abortion clinics or whatever. He basically wanted doctors who go to abortion clinics to be able to go to regular hospitals too, and I'll explain all that in a minute. But watch this video and tell me what you get out of this video. I watched it and I knew immediately what I was thinking. Here we go.
Choice politicians are running women's lives in your state? Click below to donate. Help us laugh these legislators out of office.
How about if I start at the beginning?
A romantic dinner in Bobby Jindal's Louisiana, $150. Condom that broke after romantic dinner in Bobby Jindal's Louisiana, $1.50. Positive pregnancy test, time off work, 4 days of childcare, gas for 800-mile round trip to the closest Louisiana abortion provider, 2 nights in a hotel due to a 24-hour waiting period because of state-mandated counseling, procedure. Total cost, $1,635. Planning your family without the governor's help? Priceless. In Bobby Jindal's Louisiana, there are some things money can buy, if you can afford it, like safe, accessible abortion care. For everyone else, there's Masturbate.
Share this video with Bobby Jindal to let him know that HB 388 hurts women and that you think family planning without the governor's help is priceless.
All right, the Utah family, you're up next. What came to your mind? I'm sorry, I'm teasing you. What do you think about that video? What strikes you?
It's childish, first of all.
Is that a pun?
Oh, gee.
I'm just kidding.
I didn't even catch that.
No
but that was,
I didn't either.
No pun intended. It's childless. No, I'm just kidding. Childish. I'm teasing.
Quite frankly, I get sick and tired of being used as a pawn as a woman, in those type of ads. It was kind of the same thing for me. Like, here's big news flash for you. So I got pregnant in high school, and when I was pregnant, I had so many abortion people just try to tell me that that was my job to do because I was a pregnant teenager, and I needed to basically get one to support and show that what their agenda was the right thing. And I was just really irritated with that and let them know what I thought, not to ever use me as a pawn for their agendas again. And that's actually just disgusting, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Martin?
Well, I just think that
put you on the spot, but it is a talk.
well, I just think that even European countries that are so liberal and socialist are just think it's barbaric. The abortion, they don't allow it after a certain number of weeks. I forget what it is, like 6 months or something like that.
Right.
Just because, and they don't push it like they do here. I mean, it should be a last resort. I'm not saying to make it illegal, but it shouldn't be allowed after a certain period of time. And
right.
What they allow here is just barbaric. Even the Europeans won't allow that. We're the only country that allows that kind of stuff.
That's a really good point. Brett?
Oh, I go in so many directions. I have this. First and foremost, as a male, I don't think I should even talk about it. I'll never find myself in an unwanted pregnancy. I will never find myself raped and pregnant. I have a myriad of thought on this whole thing. I don't think we should make abortion super accessible. I don't think that it should be used as a form of birth control. But then again, I also don't think it's a good thing to bring in a bunch of unwanted babies either. So and that would take way too long to get into what I mean there. It's more of a psychological thing. If you believe that life does begin at conception, if the first experience that life has is completely negative, I don't see how that winds up working out well in many cases. I don't know. We have a lot of stressors on this culture at this point, and one of them is, well, and again, this isn't the topic we're getting into right now, but if we ever go down that road, I've got some thoughts on it.
It's interesting that all three of you had kind of this, that you took your vision, or you took kind of from the same angle about Anna, about don't use me as your pawn, and both of you guys is kind of like, well, abortion is wrong, but I'm not, maybe not make it illegal, but, and here's what struck me. Okay, I'm gonna play back part of this for you.
A romantic dinner in Bobby Jindal's Louisiana, $150. Condom that broke after romantic dinner in Bobby Jindal's Louisiana, $1.50. Positive pregnancy test, time off work.
What are they talking about there? Money.
Yep.
Talking about that it's somebody else's responsibility because you made a mistake, because the condom broke, or because you went out to dinner and got drunk, or because you did whatever. It's somebody else's problem now that needs to help you take care of it. Now listen to this next part.
4 days of child pay.
Share this video with Bobby Jindal.
There are some things money can buy, if you can afford it, like safe, accessible abortion care. For everyone else, there's Masturbate.
That's not the part I want.
Share this video with Bobby Jindal to let him know that HB 388 hurts women, and that you think family planning without the governor's help is priceless.
Right there. If you think family planning without the governor's help, that's what I took out of it, was they actually believe that politicians it's their responsibility to help families plan? Are you freaking kidding me? I don't know. That's the thing that got my goat right away, is that it is not the government's job to help family planning.
There's two things in there. I mean, this is clearly saying they're against the government sticking his nose into this, and I tend to agree with that. But it's basically saying that if you have enough money, then you can afford to get these things done. The one thing that really stuck out in this was the mandated 24-hour waiting period, and then
that bothered them.
And then the forced counseling. I believe there was something about that in there too, if I remember right.
They'll be all for that kind of stuff if it's against guns. No problem.
Yeah, right.
Exactly. There you go. But I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, wait a minute, somebody's made this decision, but I mean, I doubt people go into this thing lightly, but then they have to go sit in front of somebody they don't know and explain why they're going to do it. I don't know.
Here's where this thing came about. The new Louisiana law could shut down most abortion clinics in the state. Louisiana governor, you guys can't really read that real well, can you?
It's clear to me.
Okay. Louisiana Governor Bobby Jindal signed into law on Thursday an anti-abortion bill. Now, whose verbiage is that anti-abortion bill? That could shut down 4 of the state's 5 abortion-providing clinics. The bill, which requires all abortion providers, doctors, to have admitting privileges at a nearby hospital. So what's so wrong with a doctor who's performing that procedure, if an emergency happens, has to have admitting privileges to a hospital nearby, so he could take his patient over there and continue to help? It's similar to a law that has been shutting down clinics in Texas. Only 1 of the 5 clinics in Louisiana currently complies with the new law. That just means that the doctors at these other 4 haven't bothered to try to register at these new hospitals. Supporters of the law, and I highlighted some stuff here, supporters of the bill say it is intended to protect women who have emergency complications from the abortion procedures. But doctors and medical groups, including the AMA, oppose these types of laws, arguing they are not necessary for patient safety. Quote, women who have complications during an abortion can already access care at a local emergency room.
Exactly. That's
right?
what I was thinking too.
Yeah. And hospitals, well, number one, if you're in the middle of an emergency because of an abortion and the doctor has privileges at the hospital, where are they going to send you? To the emergency room. Anyways.
Right.
And hospitals often turn abortion providers' applications for admitting privileges for political or financial reasons unrelated to doctor safety and record qualifications. I don't know too many hospitals out there that are turning away doctors because they believe in abortion. I'm pretty sure most hospitals believe in abortion. They may not do them, but most of those doctors aren't quote-unquote Christians. They're scientists. We all want, this is funny, we all want women to be safe. But this law doesn't protect women's health, says Jennifer Dalvin, the director of ACLU, which is all you need to say there. Reproductive Freedom Project. In fact, major medical groups like the OCGA, the MAA, or AMA, I can't talk, oppose these laws because they actually, this is comical, they actually harm women by preventing them from getting high-quality medical care. How does that make any sense? You want your doctor to be able to have privileges at the hospital, but how are you preventing them? Anyways.
That's just an issue that you can just churn on over and over.
Who do you think wrote that article? Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Huffington Post. So whatever story you read, I knew right away when I first read that, had the slant because it was talking about anti-abortion bill rather than a pro-life bill or rather than whatever verbiage you want to put. So it's from this fish wrapper. Huffington Post. Anyways, all right, that's my Bobby Jindal take for the week. No more man.
I have something to say on that still, though.
Yeah.
It's really a myth that people have that women who get abortions in unexpected pregnancies, that just solves their problems. That's not the truth at all. I have a friend who had an abortion thinking that very thing, oh, this is going to solve the problem, and she has been suffering for years, and I don't know that she'll ever recover. She's spending the rest of her life, you know, she's turned to God, she's gone to a religious group, and she's going to spend the rest of her life serving and doing everything she can, which is great, but to try to make up for this horrendous guilt and this horrendous emotional toll and psychological toll that it's taken on her. So this isn't just some simple cure to a problem. And then also in regards to the comment that we don't want to have unwanted children, you know, necessarily brought into the world, there are so many people who want to adopt, and you've heard that before. It is true. People want to adopt children, and I tell you, the people who had this argument in the liberal side, who are saying this is going to prevent unwanted children from being, you know, coming into the United States. What the hell's going on the border in Mexico that they're supporting? We've got so many children who now have no parents who are flooding into the United States, you know, but they're all supportive of that. But they're, you know, saying, hey, we don't want unwanted children, you know, so let's abort, you know, children from American mothers. I just don't get it.
Excellent point. Brett, your mom and dad want you, right? You think? You feel like it, you?
Well, they did it first.
No, do you feel like your mom and dad want you?
Yeah, absolutely. Of course I do.
Brett's adopted.
Yeah, I am adopted. So, but you know, and that's interesting. You know, well, that would be a whole show. We can talk about adoption, but you know, and a lot of people say it too. Well, what if your natural mother had made another decision? I would never know. That's just it. I wouldn't know. I wouldn't have been here. I wouldn't be sitting talking right now. It's kind of a moot point, and it's a question you can't answer. But
I think Martin's point was really good, though. It should be an absolute last resort, and it seems to be that it seems to be a first resort and a pushed agenda, which is the real problem here. Yeah,
it seems to be birth control, a method of birth control, really. Yeah.
You know, I don't really know the numbers, but I actually had this in one of my in my daily life. I actually had a Hispanic male tell me this. He's a guy I know, a guy I see every week, and he had said I had said something about my daughter and I were going to be going to the zoo this weekend, and he said, "Oh, your daughter?" I said, "Yeah," and he said, "How many kids do you have?" And I said, I've got 2 daughters," and he said, "Oh, you better start having more kids." Because I have 5. I'm probably going to have a couple more pretty soon. There may be no more white people in this country. And I kind of got to thinking about that. Kind of what we're talking about right now, if you really think about it, if you look at who is reproducing the most, keeping their kids, going into the system, going on to welfare, having more kids to maintain that dollar that's coming in via the federal government, these are not, white, quote unquote, white people. I mean, I'm guessing the abortion, the load of the abortions is white people. And if you really think about it, why are they pushing this agenda? Is it to balance? Is it to balance the numbers?
No, are you saying that more white people are having abortions?
Absolutely. That's just demographically likely. I mean, it's.
I think statistically, though, per capita, though, it's blacks.
I'm talking overall numbers, though. You can talk per
white people.
You can talk per capita all day, but right, exactly. I'm just saying if there's 1 million of this and only 10,000 of that.
They did a study in New York, and it came down to I don't have the numbers in front of me. We ran it on the show one time, but it was something like 7 out of 10 blacks were being aborted in proportion in numbers in New York. It was crazy.
Right, we talked about that.
Basically, it started out as black genocide, is what it started out as.
Yeah, it did.
So, anyways, all right, let's get on to a funner topic.
Thanks, Jim. I'm depressed.
But before you get off of Bobby Jindal there, I think the one thing, I'm glad that somebody, a national politician, finally said something like that. But I think the problem is going to be that he's going to get attacked from his own side now, because,
of course,
like Ted Cruz got attacked, he's going to get attacked relentlessly now. And it's going to be hard for him to go anywhere because they're just going to make sure that he doesn't get in.
We have a voice out there right now that is very, very one-sided. And, I mean, if you take a topic, it's kind of a hot-button issue right now, but gay marriage, whether you're for it or whether you're against it, doesn't matter one way or the other. But the one thing is, if you're against it, you can't talk about it. If you're for it, you can talk about it. You can do TV shows about it. You can put articles in the paper about it. You can go online. You can post to your Facebook page. You can talk. And I'm just using that as an example of what's going on right now from this liberal agenda that's being forced down our throats in general. I'm not talking about that specific issue. But my point is that if you stand up today and you say something, you are just going to be ridiculed and put down and put back into your place, and oh, you're a hater, and oh, you're against this, and oh, you hate people, you're racist. It's like, no, I'm none of that. I just happen to have a different opinion than you do.
Yeah, I agree with that. But my point is that the establishment Republicans are going to go after him.
Right. Oh, I think so too.
Yeah.
Well, that's the only reason that there would be need of a hostile takeover, is because the parties aren't doing their job and stopping all of this really criminal activity going on. If they were to actually stand up and do something, Americans wouldn't have to do a hostile takeover. But yet we keep putting them in office. We stay with our politicians longer than we do our spouses. That wasn't meant for you, by the way.
Speaking of spouses.
In our country.
I got to tell you,
nice latte.
Term limits for Congress. I mean, come on, I cannot believe. And then campaign finance. If we could just do term limits for congressmen and campaign finance reform, you would see.
The old thing about term limits is that they need to have enough time there to learn the game and to build up clout. That's the problem. There shouldn't be a game. There shouldn't be building up clout. You go, you do your job, and you come home.
How about every 2 years? Maybe it's 3 years, maybe it's 4, whatever the people decide. But let's just say, for example, every 2 years, everybody's out, a whole new crop is in. Oh, that'd be too confusing. No. It would mean that every 2 years we're just we'd be refreshing our representatives.
The R word.
Right now, we're not refreshing our representatives. They're just getting their career politicians, and think about what that word means, career.
Did you see how fast I put up the refreshing the R word?
That was awesome.
Wasn't that good?
How'd you do that?
I'm magic.
That is amazing. You are magic. Oh.
That someone. Oh, what did I do? I don't even know what I did here. Anyways, this was freaking crazy. This reporter that I'm going to play a little video on, just 20 seconds or whatever, on MSNBC. Did you guys see this? She actually warns her viewers that somebody is about to use a racial slur. I mean, it's just, and it's about the Redskins.
Oh, you've got to be kidding me. I
No.
did not see this.
Yeah, here, let me turn this up. Okay, here we go.
The U.S. Patent and Trademark Office announced today that it's canceling the trademark registration of Washington, D.C.'s professional football team. Team owner Daniel Snyder maintains that the name of the team, a racial slur I won't say here, continuing to talk back to Daniel Snyder, and I just want to warn people, he does use the name of the team, so I'm just going to warn you guys about that in advance.
Oh, it hurts my head.
Can you believe that?
Talk about pushing an agenda.
Yeah. It's,
oh my gosh.
Yeah. It's more than about a name. It's about Obama going around everyone getting his way. So, I mean, basically, he asked Dan Snyder nicely, would you please change the name? Snyder says no. So he goes to the patent office and says, okay, just revoke the patent. I mean, could you be any more king than that?
It's exactly what it is.
Here's 12 trademarks that are declared less offensive than the Redskins. You guys.
It's not even that these were declared less offensive. These are just ignored. It's even worse. They're ignored.
In a ruling Wednesday morning, United States Patent Office, we all know this. Currently, the federal trademark laws do not allow the registration of any names or individuals, groups, contempt or disrepute, blah, blah, blah. All right, here's 12.
These are great, too. These are
Figures
fantastic.
over niggas. This pending trademark seeks to cover a line of apparel for dancers, namely T-shirts, sweatshirts, pants, leggings, shorts, and jackets. Niggas, of course, is a slang version of the word nigger, a term considered highly offensive towards black people. Kraut cap. Another recently filed trademark. This is one for a line of plastic lids. Kraut was made famous in World War II as a derogatory term for opposing German soldiers, as well as Germans in general. Kaufer is my last name. Kaufer. I'm highly offended. Dago Swag, a label created for a line of clothing. Dago is a corruption of the common name Diego, and is used in English-speaking countries as an offensive term for those of Italian descent, and occasionally people from other Mediterranean countries as well. I actually have a little bit of Mediterranean Jew in my blood, so now I'm really mad. Kraka as skateboards. Unsurprisingly, this trademark was taken out for a line of skateboards and longboards, as well as associated clothing such as bandanas, while the USPTO hopefully notes that the wording krakas as has no meaning in a foreign language. Kraka is a slang version of cracker, which in this context is a term that decision for whites. Okay. Now I'm white. I'm part German. I've got Mediterranean Jew blood in me. My head is just spinning right now.
Wow, exactly. I bet you your face is getting all red. You got some red skin going on, I'm guessing.
Don't go there. You use the R word.
Oh,
how much should we should start putting money in the thing for that. You can't make a housewife out of a whore. This trademark for T-shirts and hats appears to imply that women involved in prostitution can never transition into the domestic role of a housewife. Never mind, I was going to name a couple that did. But I can't. I'm just kidding, that was a joke. Such an accusation would certainly bring them into contempt or disrepute. Okay. Blanco means white. Basura, a seemingly innocuous phrase. Blanco, basura, rendered to the English as offensive, highly offensive white trash. What? Occasionally. No, it isn't. When people order from me and Brett, and the Mexicans order white cheese, they call it Blanco, right?
That's
Give
right.
me the Blanco,
Exactly.
whatever. Okay. Home cooking biscuit head. Intentionally, as we well know, it is not required in order for something to be highly, highly offensive. They should have done their due diligence before designing this logo for the restaurant. Hold on. Move that up. You guys can read that. The term biscuit head has its origins in the Korean War when American GIs picked this unseemly term to describe the shape of Koreans' heads. I did not know that.
That's a new one too, yeah.
Teensdoporn.com. This is a classic example. Safe for work. It's not safe for work. I saw it. No, I'm just kidding. I'm teasing. Of a harmful stereotype used to justify condensation towards teens in the form of countless whatever. Okay, so that is a trademark they're trying to get. Teens do porn. Gypsy soul women who live by their own rules. I'm having a hard time finding that that's actually trying to be trademarked. That whole word. Anyways, it all just goes to show how stupid this is.
It is absolutely. Well, what's really disturbing is if you really just get to the point of it, whether Redskin as a name of a team, as a trademarked name of a team, is offensive or not offensive, that's not really the issue. The issue is what Obama did.
Mm-hmm.
It's they forced a private company, a private entity, into their guidelines. They said, okay, well, you're not going to play ball with us, then guess what? You know,
mydadsnuts.com. How about that one? Yeah. No, Brett, you're absolutely right. He forced an entity, a private company, into changing.
Whether you're against it. Now, I was listening to, there's a talk show I listen to pretty much every day because I do a lot of driving, as Jim knows.
Can't believe you listen to Lars Larson.
Jim Villanucci, he's on in the mornings, but he had asked, this was last week, he had asked any Native Americans to call in and let him know, just call in, let me know, where do you stand on this whole Redskins as a team name issue? He took about 13 or 14 calls, just random calls that day from Native Americans. Not one of them was upset about it. They're just like, we don't really see what the big deal is. Maybe there are Indians out there who are offended by it, but whatever.
I saw this picture come through Facebook of this girl, this woman or whatever, and she was clearly Native American. She had blue across her eyes, and it was a beautiful picture. I mean, stunningly beautiful. I saw it, and I'm like, wow, that is stunningly beautiful. And it's from some photography thing or whatever, so I clicked on it to see whose page it was and what they're all about. And they had a bunch of photographs and pictures they do of all kinds of stuff, and this person happens to be Native American. And on this woman's page, somebody had brought up the point about the Redskins, and the Indian woman's response was, hey, that was in honor of a Sioux coach, and
that's
it's a
how
way
I
to
took it
honor
too.
us. Yeah, that's how it's like 80 or 90% of Indians feel that it's an honor.
It was never meant to be derogatory. It was meant to be fierce and we're fighting. We're going to win the game. We're a tough team. I mean, these are all analogies that go along with it. I've never understood how you could look at it and go, hey, let's come up with a really bad name. Let's call them Redskins. Yeah, because that's funny. That's not what anybody was doing when they came up with it. I've never ever understood this argument.
Right. Before I move on, you guys got anything?
Well, I mean, from a business perspective, you know, especially as large businesses, they generally want to provide a product to people that's acceptable, and they don't want to have a bad reputation or be looked at as being racist or whatnot. And so, you know, I just went and I looked this up a little bit about Aunt Jemima, if you know about the whole history behind that. But this is what it says. A about when they changed the symbol back in the 90s. It says, to make the symbol more acceptable to the black market, Quaker Oats introduced a new Aunt Jemima in April 1989, 100 years after the concept was begun, because they became aware of people's lack of acceptance. That's how the market works. If people really are that offended and they're really being hounded by people about this being so offensive, they'll do it on their own at some point. So this is clearly something that's Obama's agenda.
Absolutely. Well, that's what, if everybody stopped going to that stadium on Sundays and protest, trust me, they'd change that name quickly.
Yeah.
But I guarantee you they're still going to sell jerseys, they're going to sell hats, they're going to sell out those seats, and they will be on TV every Sunday, and they will be looking to win a Super Bowl just like every other team in the NFL. And those people that don't buy into it, well, don't watch the product. That's how this works. You don't like something on TV, you don't watch it. You don't like porn, you don't go into porn shops. You don't like stripping, you don't go to a strip club. You know, it's pretty simple. You know, if you don't like things in this country, and they exist, there's tons of things we all don't like. You avoid them. You stay away from them. But that's the cool thing about the United States is, aren't you supposed to have the right to kind of do what you want to do? You know, to some degree. I mean, obviously.
Liberals are the most intolerant people
absolutely
in the world. They want to force their agenda on everybody else. And all the other problems must be solved, apparently, because Obama has time to worry about this.
They're
guys in the Mexican jail, and Iraq's a mess, and the border's a mess, and he has time to worry about forcing the trademark office to.
Yeah,
ridiculous.
I have a bunch of, not a bunch anymore. I have several liberal friends on Facebook. I used to have more, but I have been unfriended by, the only people that unfriend me are the tolerant ones. My liberal friends, and I'm like, you can't even have a freaking conversation with them, you know. And I think that Anna might have seen one of the posts that Blaine was putting through post after post after post, so putting all these posts on there. And one of them, these people were, because he posted and he goes something like, the conservative lady, this gal named Amy or something, and she's got a Facebook page and people follow it, and it's got a big following and stuff. So anyway, she was on there, and she got banned for 30 days for posting one of E.T. Williams' videos, which his stuff is funnier than crap. He's a black guy who drives around in his car usually and points the camera at himself and does some funny videos. He's great. Have you guys seen him, E.T. Williams?
No.
You haven't? Okay, I'm gonna send you his link when the show's over, so you can check him out sometime. He calls himself the Doctor of Common Sense, and he is.
Oh, we did watch him last night. That was the guy.
The Doctor of Common Sense, a bald black guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he is great, really great. So anyway, she posted one of his videos, and she got banned for 30 days. So anyways, one of the comments on Blaine's thing was, well, why are we even using Facebook? And then Blaine said, well, hey, or one of these people said, hey, it's a good forum. You know, there's a lot of people, whatever. And then other people are going like, yeah, well, we should start up our own conservative forum, and somebody else is posting stuff on there of conservative forums. And I'm like, wait a minute. Honestly, guys, if you only want to talk to yourselves, you're just preaching to the choir. So if you only want to talk to conservative forums, you're just, I'm sorry to say, but it's like you're jacking off. You just, what are you doing here? I mean, you're just preaching to the choir. And you're not going to change any hearts and minds. You're not going to be able to dialogue. You're not going to be able to learn anything. I can learn something from some liberals that may have a great point that I've never considered before. I doubt it, but I might. No, I'm kidding. I learn stuff from people all the time, and you only learn from people, you only learn things from things that you don't know. And so you have to hear other points of view, and it might actually just strengthen your own position, and that's okay. But don't shut yourself off. So, you know, that was kind of my take was, you know, we just get stronger. If they're going to ban somebody for 30 days, there's lots of workarounds. It's a pain in the ass to do it, but there's lots of workarounds, and it exposes them for the fascists that they are every time they do it.
Well, they blocked. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you.
Oh, they blocked that kid. That high school kid found out they were blocking the school district was blocking the NRA and other conservative websites, and that's how they are.
Something else. Yep.
Say it. I didn't
Talk
hear
about
it.
Pushing an agenda, man. That was one of the most intriguing stories. And then the guy that came back, the principal or whoever it was that came back, and one of his first quotes after being confronted with it was, "I don't think we're doing enough to stop the conservative movement." What?
Well, now I heard that the VA, one of the VAs, shut off Fox News, so people couldn't watch it. And then finally, when they got caught, they said, "Oh no, we're just trying to." They shut off all the news, whatever it was. So I did not hear that story. Martin, you brought it up. What story is it? What happened exactly?
You probably know more about it than I do. I don't
know. I had posted it on my wall. So just a high school student was trying to prepare for a debate. Well, he couldn't find any information for the debate on the conservative side for gun control because everything was blocked as far as the conservative websites went. And so he started to notice a trend, and he went to different computers through various parts of the library to make sure that this really was the case, and it was. And he took it to the school board, and good for him for not backing off.
Jim, essentially what they did was they went in and they set the firewall to block things like pro-gun websites, anything that would be pro-gun or pro-conservative, political websites even. He went to various types of sites, but anything that would be considered conservative or pro-gun, the firewall blocked them. And he proved this by going to liberal websites and anti-gun websites left and right. You can get right through to those. Pretty disturbing stuff. They're doing this in the schools.
I had no idea. Now,
public school.
Okay, now I did watch a short video yesterday and about bullying, and this girl they were reading these texts. So they're reading texts and everyone's making fun and texting, and there's several websites out there, I guess, for these teens to do all their teen community, and they hang out in there, and it can be totally anonymous. And they just beat the snot out of each other verbally, and some of it's horrible. Well, my first question was, if you're a teen who's getting bullied, why the hell are you logging on there? Why do you keep going back? Is that like going back to get hit again? I mean, why? But anyway, so one of the websites that runs this program has a blocking program that they're able to put into their system to block within a radius of every single school. And I don't know if that's every single school or the schools in that area where they were concerned about it, but I thought that was interesting. So if you're a teen and you're on your phone and you're at school and you try to type in that website blocks itself from being able to go that whole sphere, that area. It's kind of interesting. But again, I just thought to myself, why would you keep reading that? I mean, it's just, I don't know. It's like a train wreck. People just slow down and they keep watching it, right? And they're watching themselves on it. So all right. So we're cruising along here. We're going longer. Do you guys have time to stay longer?
Mm-hmm.
I've got about 10 minutes before my daughter pops in here and gets really mad at me.
Okay, we're gonna bust through this because we got a whole bunch of stuff, and I just want to cover it real quick. Brief news about the Mexican border.
It's more available than ever.
Yeah, Blaine Cooper, who we do hope to have on the show sometime, headed down to the border. You can I cannot read. You can also help via PayPal. Email Blaine Cooper 53@yahoo.com. Thank you to all those who donated to the Bundy cause. It helped out big time. Much love in Jesus' name, everyone. Amen. Click here to support militia at the border. So what Blaine is doing with a bunch of other quote-unquote militia people, just Americans, are going down to help the Border Patrol, basically. And help out. So here he started a GoFundMe page. So if you notice that, go to Blaine's page and share it and try to get the word out there. Then, this was kind of interesting. I saw the feds wanted to turn this hotel into a refugee camp, but they made a major error. This is a friggin' resort up in New York. You know what error they made?
It wasn't shut down.
It's booked for the summer. Yeah. Searching for places to house the overwhelming influx of Mexican and Central American children crossing the U.S. southern border without the parents, as we all know.
BS! Oh,
yeah.
I want to get...
They scouted out an abandoned hotel in Grand Island, New York on Friday, or at least the government thought the hotel was abandoned. As it turned out, the 263-room resort and spa was fully booked. It looks like there's been a mistake, federal agents with the Homeland Department and Border Patrol told the manager. They were thinking the hotel was abandoned and closed, said the manager.
By the way, it wouldn't matter if it was abandoned and closed. It's
Right.
not their property.
It's a private...
It's our property.
Right. It does belong to someone. It's unclear how the federal government got the idea that the hotel might be available for use as a refugee camp. But besides being fully booked for the summer, the resort and spa isn't exactly kid-friendly. Now, this is a stupid comment. The hotel is an upscale place, and in its previous life, Holiday Inn hosted an Entice Fall Swingers Convention. So they were trying to say that 4 or 5 years ago it hosted this Swingers Convention, so it's not exactly kid-friendly. It's not kid-friendly because the government doesn't own it.
Are there still stains on the walls? What do you mean it's not kid-friendly?
Yeah, Monica's dress is there. Hey, this is horrible to say. I shouldn't even bring it up anymore, but I did bring it up on one of the shows. Never mind, I won't even go there. After the election when Obama won, and they all came down on the stage, and Joe Biden was standing up with his hands up in his air, hand up in the air next to his wife, and he's holding his wife's hands, and they're all standing there with the Obamas. Just go back to the picture and try to find the convention on the night that Obama won, and all their hands are up in the air. That's all I want you to do, and see if you find anything.
Oh, good heck. Okay.
It was obviously a quick, hey, hurry up and get down here moment, because Joe Biden had a couple of medium-sized white stains down near the front of his pocket area. I'm just saying, he did. He did. It was right on news. I saw it. Yeah, we posted it one time.
It was a powdered donut.
Yeah. Anyway, so here's all these kids. And here's the thing, okay, we can all talk about it, but it's really not a laughing matter. I mean, it is, what in God's name, is it narcissistic, or how evil or how unbelievable is Obama and these liberals to allow these children? I mean, this is sad. These are human beings who are being ushered over here, and they're real life people. You can't just send them back to who? Or you can't just put them on a bus and send them to some state.
Exactly.
Who are you sending them into?
What's really disturbing and disgusting is how Obama and the liberals entice these kids over into our country, knowing that we're not able to take care of that, and it's going to be a disaster, and they're not going to have places to go. But it does give them the opportunity to show that anyone who's against this are now anti-child, and we're not humane.
Right. That's the only reason they're doing it.
We are the bad ones, and so that can help them push their immigration reform even further the way that they want. So this is all staged. They know exactly what they're doing with this.
Right. And I'm sorry, but I mean, and again, I'm the tinfoil hat conspiracy guy, Jim, as you know, but I don't buy for a second that there's this many unaccompanied minors just wandering. They somehow made it to the border and wandered across, and I'm from Guatemala. Really? You just wandered 6,000 miles up the old South American highway there and just wound up here, huh? Yeah, you did.
So you're saying that you think that their parents really aren't far behind?
Exactly. And what happens when what happens? I mean, if not already with them. I'm sorry, I just don't buy it.
No. That's a great thought. I never really thought about that. I know. Okay, I've gone to Costa Rica. I don't want to rub it in, Brett, but
How many times is that, Jim?
3 in a row.
Wow, that's weird.
We have these sales contests at work, and I've 3 years in a row I've been to Costa Rica for selling coffee, and so I know that there's migrant workers who travel from Guatemala, Panama up through Costa Rica, and then Guatemala and the whole area, and they do travel in groups, but in groups of families.
Mm-hmm.
And so at the coffee farms that I've lived on and worked at through they have temporary housing and they have permanent housing. So there's about 80 families that actually live year-round on these coffee farms in Costa Rica, the ones that I've been to, and they have a doctor and a dentist who come in once a week. They have schools 5 days a week, that kind of thing. But the migrant workers who travel from season to season and country to country, they get to stay in temporary housing, but they travel as families. So, Brett, that's an excellent point. Those families probably aren't too far behind as they usher the kids across the border.
And you know they're not too far behind because, number one, these kids could have just wandered all those great distances on their own, first and foremost.
But to Anna's
they're not old enough to vote, and that is why the parents are behind.
Right. Yeah, because the children don't matter to the Democrats, well, unless they become voting age. But to Anna's point, see these kids right there? The only peoples whose heart is truly breaking are conservatives. Our hearts actually break for these kids, and we actually pray for them and feel for them. The liberals are using them as a freaking pawn.
Yeah, and it was. I wish I could find it. I couldn't find it. I was just looking. I read an article earlier today that the Department of Homeland Security had solicited bids in January for people to handle large amounts of kids coming across the border.
I should have put that. I saw that earlier.
Is staged.
And you had posted something on my page the other day too that might have been that, but you had posted something that was pretty cool on there, and I did read that article that you're talking about. I should have put it with it. But yeah, they were already taking bids months ago for this kind of stuff.
Well, and I read something too, and maybe you guys know about this more than I do, but some bill that was passed in 2011 that basically said that any kids that came across our border we would help and we would take in, and so that this has been being kind of dropped into these countries over the past few years, this information, and that's why everyone's been starting to move over here, and the information's just been spread further over the last while, and that's why there's such a huge influx right now. So there's some kind of a accept children from other country bill. Anyone know about that further?
No, it'd be something to look into, though, for sure.
I might have it, but I'll look it up.
I'm typing something on Facebook real quick because we're going to finish up here in about 10 minutes. But there's a video that I'm going to play to end the show, and I do not want to miss this video. I want to make sure that no matter what happens, we get to the video. But I couldn't post it. I couldn't play the video early on, or I wouldn't have been able to do the show. It's that kind of video. It's a great video. But we couldn't complain or do anything after watching this video. It's too important. It's too moving. All right, really quick. I'm going to bust through. I've got a miscellaneous page up here, and every single one of them it's a smorgasbord. So we're going to hit all these really quick because they're just random thoughts. White Americans find this offensive? Cracker Jack.
Hell yeah.
I should have I put up my family tree one time. It was these 4 saltine crackers.
That's right. I love that.
Yeah. Okay, so I saw that. I thought that was humorous. This was not humorous, but it was it's in the news today. Report: judge who sentenced Saddam Hussein to death was captured and executed by ISIS.
Nice.
Yeah. Here's another one.
Those guys all like each other so much.
Do you know how you can tell if you voted in Afghanistan or Iraq? Do you know what they do at the vote? No. Do you know what they do at the voting booth to show that you voted so you can only vote once? Do you know what they do?
I have no idea.
Anna, Martin?
Nope.
Oh, they cut your fingers off or something.
No. They dip your finger in purple ink, and that's when everybody was walking out there with their finger held up in purple ink. They were so happy after we liberated them, and had helped out for a while in Afghanistan and everywhere that they got to vote. Well, guess what the Taliban is doing? Taliban cut off fingers of 11 elderly men who dared to vote in the presidential runoff election. And we just released a handful of their leaders back to them in exchange for a deserter. I'm sorry, but these people are barbarians.
Yeah, they are.
Taliban cut off fingers of 11 elderly men. There it is. The iconic photos of voters holding up their ink-stained fingers have become a symbol for many Middle Eastern countries in the wake of the so-called Arab Spring. And because that held-up purple finger is a symbol, these barbarians cut off that symbol. It's the barbaric. Okay, here's something that struck me as funny as before. You don't see faith healers working in hospitals for the same reason you don't see psychics winning the lottery.
I've seen that one
was
before.
funny, right?
It is true. Yeah.
Yeah. This I thought was great. I think we might have all seen it, but DeWalt's answer to home protection that doesn't require registration or a license. This nail gun can shoot a 16D nail through a 2x4 at 200 yards, and in case of a home invasion, well, you can nail their ass to the wall. And I'm not saying it won't kill the perp, but they won't get away.
If that's real, I have to have that.
Yeah, I think it is.
I'm serious. If that is real, I have to have that.
Yeah, it says here you can also help build a friend's fence 2 blocks away while sitting in your front lawn. This is truly how you adapt and overcome. Yeah. And
what are you doing? Building a shed.
Yeah, and it says, so thanks, DeWalt. So that is how you adapt and overcome. I thought that was pretty good. All right, I thought this was kind of funny. I just saw it today. This is a true story. I cannot believe this guy's actually doing this.
Oh, brother. Are you kidding me?
Look at that dome. Look at that lid on that guy's dome. Donning a new cap, Alex Torres makes a pitch for baseball safety. Alex Torres will never forget the sound that echoed around Tropicana Field from the pitcher's mound on a Saturday afternoon last June. More than a year after the pitcher's then Tampa Bay Rays teammate, Alex Cobb, God, there's a lot of Alex in the story, was struck in the head by a concussing line drive. The sound of the ball on the skull still resonates. In other words, the guy has what do you call it, PSTD?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Baseball. Look at that freaking hat that guy's wearing.
That is fantastic.
That's like I watch the pretty. I'm sorry to say this. The prettiest lesbians in the world are college baseball players. Like 90% of them are that, right? And they're beautiful, and they all wear freaking football mask over their face, and it's like, really? You're like 60 feet away. I know the ball is coming hard, but I've played fast pitch softball for years, and I'm not going to wear a freaking. Who is the guy that ate people in the movie Silence of the Lamb?
Hannibal Lecter.
You know what I'm talking about. Yeah, I'm not going to wear a Hannibal Lecter over my face to play baseball. Come on. This guy's wearing a freaking whatever. All right. All right. So do you agree with the state or disagree? Okay, I put this up. This is going to be a 2 or 3-parter here. Oh, okay. I've got a video here, okay? Let me just indulge me for about 2 minutes because I want to know if you guys agree or disagree with the state. This person, DMV, forced the teen to remove makeup before getting a license. Do you know why?
Because it's a boy.
You think so?
Oh, I know so. I've followed this story.
Did you see this, Martin?
No.
Did you see it, Anna?
many, driving is a coming of age.
I was nervous for driving till before the test.
A taste of independence.
I was excited, I guess, like anybody else my age would be.
This cautious young driver aced the test with a perfect score. The photo is what caused a roadblock at the Anderson DMV office.
She said that I could not wear a disguise to take my photo, and according to her, me wearing makeup would be a disguise, and that I did not look like a boy should.
Chase shared these before and after photos. To him, this was not about deception. He was honest and told DMV employees that he is male. And reluctantly, he took off his makeup so that he could get his first driver's license.
It was very degrading, and I felt I was in shock.
The 16-year-old, once so eager to drive, now regrets changing his look to please the state. He is fighting for the chance to retake his driver's license photo with
Is he wearing a little,
like he wears
look
every
at
day.
that camisole.
It was incredibly devastating.
For the Culpepper family, it's more than just hurt feelings. They call it discrimination.
This is who he is, and for him to not have makeup on would be in disguise in itself.
State officials say employees were simply following the rules. A policy adopted in 2009 states at no time will an applicant be photographed when it appears that he or she is purposely altering his or her appearance so that the photo would misrepresent his or her identity. The DMV does, however, make exceptions for medical and religious reasons.
I'm sharing my story because I just don't want to see other people like me have to go through this.
What he wants now is to steer the entire state
all
in a new
three of you.
direction, one that takes the focus off of looks and labels, giving special consideration to those
I was trying to see if
who
he's
see
wearing a
themselves
skirt,
differently
but he was wearing
than
pants
society
when he got out.
dictates.
All right, what do you guys think?
First of all, he makes a very pretty, I don't know what I say, girl.
Isn't
Very
he
pretty.
cute? I know.
Very pretty.
Yeah.
Very. And
Even
he
without
puts his
the makeup, he looks like
Yeah.
a girl.
Oh, he puts his makeup on so well. It's obvious that this is something he does all the time. That was a really good makeup job. Not gonna lie.
Mm-hmm.
You should see me without makeup. Well, I'm practically without makeup tonight, but I look like a completely different person too. So.
Hey, when I saw you without makeup, when you did the little video when you got back from Bundy Ranch, and I was so moved that I wrote you and said, please come on our show. So I wouldn't say that you bad without makeup. You've got a heart of gold. So.
Thank you.
But so do you agree with? Doesn't matter.
I don't.
mean, California, they have gender neutral bathrooms in the schools.
Yeah.
That I think is going too far.
I don't agree with it.
Yeah. I gotta be honest. Okay, here I am.
I'm not going to talk about this one because I got way too much.
Well, realistically, when it's going to be noticed is when he's pulled over by an officer, and if he doesn't have makeup on and his hair is all looking like a guy, and he hands over a female-looking driver's license, that's when they're gonna take notice at that point anyway. So
I cannot believe that anybody that cares that much about looking that pretty is never going to let themselves go. They're not going to have a bad hair day. They're not going to have a, not cover whatever. But what I was impressed, okay, here as a guy who I was born Catholic. Since I was in high school, probably early high school, late 8th grade on, started going to a Foursquare church, so it's like a non-denominational, spirit-filled Christian, right? And I believe all of that, and I try to live that way. I try to do all, that's what I believe in. I was really actually thought it was very cool that the mother supported them. That's the biggest thing I got out of it was here's a mother who actually loves her kid and says, this is my kid. I love him. Period.
All I was thinking when I was seeing her sitting there supporting her was, where's the dad? That's all that was going through my head.
But you can't control that. Too many times you got dirtball men who you can't control whether a guy is going to stay in the family or not. So God bless the mother for being there for her kid. That's what I say.
Oh, if the father did take off, he is a piece of crap. I'm not saying he isn't. I'm just saying, in general, where's the dad? Where's the male role?
Well, but you can't force people to be good human beings, and in our society, you have too many dirtball people, and I would say percentage-wise, most of them are dirtball men. That's. I mean, I went through a period of really selfish living for a long time. We've been married 33 years, and I got to be honest with you. For a long time, I was very self-centered and selfish, and everything that most of the problems that happen in a relationship like that is because one of the individuals turns inwardly and gets very selfish in life. And I was a dirtball while living as a Christian person. So you can't force a man to I don't know. So I'm not going to blame the family because it was just the mother and the kid. I was just glad to see. Because of what happened to Raquel, my granddaughter, and I'm part of a couple of Shaken Baby support groups, and I see every single day stuff that I don't post on my page that you guys don't see. The amount of child abuse would break your heart. It's so bad that my wife will not let me post anything anymore about it on Facebook because she's sick and tired of all the negative stuff and people doing that. It's too sad.
It is pretty bad.
So I was glad to see that the woman supported the kid, and I'm okay with the kid being any way he wants to be. If that dude is a girl, what am I supposed to do? You're supposed to love on people. That's what we're called to do. Inquiry into why Bergdahl wandered off. This is awesome. Okay, we'll wrap this up pretty quick. Democant, I call them democants and republicans, they're trying to justify the trade with the Taliban. Let me show you what happened. This here, the soldier interrupts the U.S. representative trying to justify Bergdahl abandoning his post. Did you guys see this on the news at all?
No. I read it, but I did not see it.
Okay, I'm going to play it for you really quick. It only goes about a minute and a half. This dirtball Democrat representative is basically trying to justify why we traded the Taliban people, and he's saying, hey, look, we dealt with the Nazis. We traded prisoners of war with the Nazis, so we've got precedent of doing this. Here he goes.
That in 1944, when we did a prisoner exchange, it was with the Nazis, and of course that war continued for another year.
Would the gentleman yield?
Yeah,
would the gentleman also recognize that the Nazi government at that time represented Germany as a nation state?
Yeah, but if you think that...
But Al-Qaeda never represented anyone as a nation state.
Al-Qaeda did control and govern with the acquiescence of the United States, the vast majority of Afghanistan until 9/11, but more importantly, if you want to create groups that are an anathema to the United States, I put the Nazis right at the top.
Well,
in any case, I have not yielded any further. And Dr. Jacobson, only an investigation is going to disclose the real facts behind Sergeant Bergdahl's disappearance and his capture, but we've heard substantial evidence that Sergeant Bergdahl acted in an inappropriate and an inexplicable manner. Can you describe the kinds of stresses that somebody in Sergeant Bergdahl would have faced in Afghanistan, and whether that would cause someone, not everyone, but some, to act in an inexplicable manner? I realize that the vast majority of our soldiers, Marines, etc., are subjected to those pressures and do not act inexplicably.
Can I have permission to speak?
Yes,
Well, you're asking Dr. Jacobson what situation Bergdahl was in over there. I was with Bergdahl and at the same location. I could give you a first-hand account of exactly what Bergdahl was going through because I went through the exact same conditions.
Well, I'll ask you then to respond to the question first, and then Dr. Jacobson to respond second. I was asking more in a general sphere as to what you face in Afghanistan, but obviously you know the specifics.
We were at an observation post. It was very primitive. We had to eat meals ready to eat, which are heated up with water. It was very hot, very dirty, without showers for certain days. Didn't get phone calls or any comforts of home, but it didn't affect anybody else there. We all continued the mission and upheld our oath. Everybody deals with mental issues in some form or another if they deploy to Afghanistan or Iraq. And everybody else still came back from that same platoon. Nobody else deserted on their own. So there's nothing, in my opinion, that was so bad that forced him to walk off on his own accord, caused by anything going on over there. He walked off on his own accord.
Dr. Jake?
Yeah, I thought that was awesome that he would interrupt a senator or whatever the hell that guy is. Congressman. All right, I'm going to move on to the very last video really quick. You guys got anything about any of those? No?
No.
All right. This moved me a lot. Brett knows this. I think Anna knows this. I don't know if Martin knows this. But my granddaughter is now 7 years old, shaken baby. She was crying when she was 6 weeks old a lot. So her dad, who was on drugs at the time, decided to shook her pretty hard and damaged her brain so that she's basically a vegetable. I mean, the girl that you're going to see in this video is pretty much exactly like my granddaughter, except she can't hold up her head as well as this girl does. And this girl is a little more aware than my granddaughter. But this I had to play before we left the show, just because I think that we can't do all negative stuff all the time. We can't live that way, and you're never going to have a good show. Once we get more shows under our belt and we start tightening it up and maybe practice some and really dial things in, it'll get better. But I think that we need to have good positive stuff, probably more than negative. So I wanted to play this. All right, here goes. Father and daughter.
With number 221, please welcome the stage Mackenzie, number 221.
I can almost see it, that dream I'm dreaming. There's a voice inside my head, you'll never reach it. Things that I'm sleeping, and I make you lost no direction. My faith is shaking, but I gotta keep trying. Gonna keep my head held high. Always gonna be out and about. So turn around to you. Never how fast I get there. Never what's waiting on the other side. Sometimes I'm knocking down, but no, I'm not breaking. I may not know it, but it's a moment that I'm going to say. Just gotta keep going. Just keep pushing. There's always gonna be another mountain. mountain. I'm always on the road making moves. Always on the beat and I've been battle. Somebody how fast I get there. I was waiting on the other
Thank you so very much. And there you have our record 11.
Anyways, that's I had to finish with that. I'm not gonna finish with our normal close with what's that long-haired pot smoking guy?
And that Willie Nelson song.
We can't close with Willie Nelson. I saw that today, and it's what I do a lot with Raquel, is pick her up and dance around the room, and she loves that, you know. So, and she lives with us. No, my daughter lives right across the street. She's as integral part of her life as all of us. We just kind of all share in helping her. So, anyways, so good. Thank you guys for jumping in there and being a part of this tonight. And you guys have fun?
It feels weird not going out without music, though.
Well, we did go out with music.
That's true. We went out with a song. Well, good night, everybody.
Beautiful.
Yeah. I can't go out with Willie Nelson.
I know it wouldn't be really fitting.
So, anyways, let's. I'm not crying. I'm not crying. I did that earlier today. I already did that.
Every day.
Yeah. So, what am I going to say? Anyways, if you guys got topics or anything that you want me to put on the show, because we're trying to do as current as possible, sometimes stuff that happens during the week is already old news by the time we get to Sunday. So a lot of times I'm starting to pull stuff in on Saturday and then Sunday morning and then try to do it, but I don't know. I don't know what the best thing to do is. Go less topics and more in-depth, or just like we did with the smorgasbord stuff, just pull up a whole bunch of stuff and just, who knows?
Well, mix it up from week to week. Never know. All right, I'm getting told I have to go. So.
All right, Brett. We'll see you later.
All right. Hey, good night, everybody. We'll see y'all later.
Good night.
Bye.